we're back after a long summer hiatus. Hello and welcome to the second ever episode of Redwing Roundup and the first episode of the new school year. I'm Jack McGrath.
And I'm Ethan Ferguson. And we have lots of interesting stuff for you today, so let's get right into it. Nick Magus interviews Phil Heidkamp about this year's golf team.
Listen as Ian Smith and Greta Morris give their hot takes on the school year.
Megan and Maeve have an interview with Cara Gould about this year's marching band.
And lastly, Jacob Infante and Pat Malik will interview running back Ben Hickey about the football team. Now, one thing about the football season is here at the Broadcasting Club, we used to broadcast on the high school cube, but we will be using a new website, Meridics.com, this year. So you can just go on Meridics.com, search Benet Academy to find all your live Benet sporting events.
And make sure to follow us on Twitter, at BennettBroadcast1. Again, that's at BennettBroadcast1. Now, here's Nick Magus with his interview of Phil Heidkamp for this year's golf team.
All right, hello and welcome to the next segment of Redwing Roundup. This morning, we will be doing a little wrap-up on what we've had so far of the boys' golf season. I am joined by Phil Heidkamp, one of the seniors and leaders from this team. And we're lucky to get a chance to talk to him this morning. So, Phil, thank you for joining us.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me on.
All right, first of all, we all know that golf's a short season. Yeah, your coach preaches that to you all the time. You're looking ahead toward regionals, sectionals, and maybe state. What's some stuff you guys as a team have to remember to make your run as long as possible?
Coach always says short season but long days, but we've really been focusing on consistency. Everyone's trying to shoot their best number, especially conference, regionals, and then hopefully sectionals and state, obviously. Last year we didn't make it out of the sectional, out of the regional, but this year we definitely feel like the team's a little stronger. We've been doing well in the invites earlier in the year, but pretty hopeful that we'll make it out of regionals and then hopefully make a run at sectionals and get down to state as a team.
Sounds good. So now Coach Gaughan is known for having a message that he preaches to you guys day in and day out throughout the year. What is that message this year, and how has it affected the way you guys have approached this season?
Well, to be brief, Coach's message is that we need to suck less instead of doing better. He's always telling us, take away the double bogeys and three putts, which, to his credit, is right on. It's something that, you wish you could take them away just like that. It's not really that easy, but we've actually, I think, as a team, Coach says we've been getting better, but myself, I feel like I'm getting a little better, and watching, playing with other people, I think just collectively, I think if we can take away a three-putt round or something like that, something that might get us through to state.
And so the best part of your game, what do you think you have the most confidence in with your game right now?
Right now, I'm putting out of my mind, it's nice. I feel like I can pretty much roll anything in on the green, but overall, a short game for sure. Just, I'm pretty consistent around the greens. I feel like that's definitely a strength, somewhere I'm comfortable the most.
And something you got to focus on as we get later in the season.
Hitting the ball off the tee, just finding any fairway on the course. It doesn't even have to be the one I'm playing.
I heard you were 7 for 7 the other day.
Well, I hit iron off every tee, but
that's the stuff that Coach Gaughan doesn't tell you.
Right. If I could find any fairway with a driver, it'd be nice. Going into conference regionals, all the later big stuff.
All right, so everyone talks about the fact that golf is not a team sport, but it's obvious that the guy you're playing with that day, your teammates and the guys you're playing against have an impact on the way you play. Is there someone from the Benet golf team that you really enjoy playing with and that you think makes your game better?
So I've played with Driscoll a lot, Jack Driscoll, a junior this year. I've played with him a lot, and he's great to play with just because he lightens the mood, and I don't know, you just have a chemistry with someone you play with and makes it more enjoyable. But my favorite person to play with on the team, easily Charlie Romanesco. I don't know what it is, but just playing with him just puts you completely at ease. And he's probably my favorite person to play with.
Anybody from an opposing team that you know from past years, from this year, that you just kind of like to see when they walk up to the course?
Yeah, that's a good question. We actually we played Downers Grove first week of September, and I played with the kid last year there and played with him again. Just really great guy. There is if I see someone I've played with before, it's totally oh, hey man, it makes it a little more comfortable to, you can ask, you don't know the course necessarily, you can ask, what's going on here, something like that. It makes it a little more comfortable.
And there's a mutual respect, and there's kind of an unwritten rule that if there's stuff there's stuff there. You tell people about it. You're not trying to trick anybody. You be open with what you're looking at, especially if it's not your home course.
Oh yeah, for sure. With most teams, that's definitely the case.
Yeah, most of them.
Oh yeah.
All right, your go-to shot. I need the yardage, the club you're hitting, the lie you got, the pin placement, whatever it is that you're putting it tight every time.
83 yards, just perfect lob wedge. I know it's going to get in there, probably hit a yard short of the hole, check up right at the hole. It's just 83 yards. I know I've got it. That's my ideal number.
All right, you're playing any course with a foursome with you and 3 tour pros. Who you taking and what course you playing?
All right, that's a good question. Probably Augusta if it's open. If not, tough decision. I'd probably have to think about that one. But I'm definitely taking Tiger just because.
Yeah, have to.
The GOAT, greatest player of our generation. That's a really good one. I'll probably take Phil too. I mean, he's hard to pass up on.
Phil's been quoted before as saying that he doesn't like watching lefties golf, so this is a surprising answer.
That is true. Yeah.
What did you say about lefty golf clubs? They look fake.
Lefty golf clubs look just horrendous. I mean, you look at one just setting it down, you're like, this isn't even good.
Oh my gosh.
Brutal. Third Tour Pro though.
I'm a lefty. I'm slightly offended by that.
Third Tour Pro though. That's a good question. I like Ricky, but I don't know that I'd take him. I don't know. I guess I'll go with Ricky right now, but that's definitely up for debate.
Yeah, you got a pretty tight. You're an uptight group right there. Tiger, Phil aren't the guys that are gonna be joking around with you on the course.
Yeah, no, probably not. But it just playing with those two.
It's something special for sure.
You can't pass that up.
All right, last week, Coach Gaughan gave you a lot of crap, for a lack of a better word, about a quote that you said saying that people don't really play golf in France. This is, of course, relating to the Ryder Cup that'll happen later this month in France. Anything you want to change when it comes to that statement? Do you stand by what you said?
Well, first of all, the story goes is that Brian said that the Ryder Cup in France will be better than it was in 2016 at Hazeltine in Minnesota. And that is just completely false. Everybody, we all know Hazeltine was maybe one of the best Ryder Cups ever from a rowdiness standpoint. And France. It is kind of known golf is not as big of a deal in France, and it's just the course. It is set up very well, amphitheater greens for Ryder Cup, but it is not going to be Hazeltine. So the story doesn't go that people in France don't play golf, but that the Ryder Cup in France will not be as good as the Ryder Cup in Minnesota.
All right, thank you for clarifying. Now, Jonas Snelling the other day made a bold claim that he has a better short game than you. How do you respond to that? And don't worry about the fact that he's your teammate. Yeah. Say what you want to say.
It's absolutely false. Everybody knows my short game is light years better than Jonah's. I will say though, we had a putting contest last week at practice, and I won the first match, and the second match he actually did beat me on the 18th hole, which is credit to him. But 9 times out of 10, any short game competition, I'm just smoking them.
And what's the strength of your short game? Is it your chipping? Is it the 15-footers? 40? Is it the lag putts? What is it?
Definitely the chipping. Just chipping it close. Laying the club face open, doing whatever I have to do to get it close. For sure, the strength.
All right, probably our last question we have time for today. College golf. You thinking about it for next year? Is it an option?
Absolutely. I'd love to play college golf anywhere. I've, talking to a couple schools. It's still very early in the process. Golf's one of those where you don't really, commit to a place later on unless you're obviously going D1 or something. But, there are a lot of Division III schools that I'll definitely look at for golf, and I would love to play in college. Absolutely.
All right. I think that's all the time we have for today. Thank you very much for joining us, and thank you for coming on, Phil Heidkamp.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Welcome back to Hot Takes with Ian and Greta. This is Greta Maris.
And this is Ian Smith. So, after a long, hot summer here at Hot Takes, we're finally back to school. And anything different about being back in school this year, Greta?
Well, Ian, we are the oldest people in the school now, which is kind of crazy, as you had mentioned earlier. Walking through the hallways, you don't see anyone older than you anymore. It kind of makes you feel a little different, don't you think?
Yeah, it definitely does, especially when you see, the freshmen who used to be like their size and now you're bigger than them. It's just different. It just kind of hits you, you know what
perspective changer for sure, yeah. What's been getting you going about senior year so far?
Well, college apps are a big thing to do. I mean, I've started on them, but I definitely know there are people that aren't, so.
That's for sure. Yeah, that application workshop definitely made me a little bit more nervous than comforted, but it's okay.
Yeah.
We still got a lot of time.
No.
Fun things to enjoy. Homecoming's coming up. Got that to look forward to. The theme is remember the Redwings, like remember the Titans. So that's going to be fun. Do you have any fun plans for homecoming?
No.
No? All right. You sound like half the grade, so still got a lot of time. It's pretty far off compared to last year.
Yeah, it is. This year it's about 3 weeks later, so that should be interesting, but it'll be a fun time.
Yeah. Still got the big sister, little sister dinner for the freshmen, so they still have something to be involved in. We got the drive-in, all sorts of fun activities throughout the week.
Also, don't forget, on the day of homecoming, Benet Boys and Girls Cross Country have a home meet at Lyle Community Park. So
yes, Lyle Community Park.
Be there.
8:30 in the morning is first race. So
last race is at 11:30
yes.
or 10:30.
Only the hottest sporting event in the whole nation on that day.
And that is Hot Takes with Ian and Greta.
Thanks, Ian and Greta. Those were some hot takes. Now we are going to send it over to Megan and Maeve for their interview with Cara Gould from the marching band.
Hi, I'm Megan Slouzis.
And I am Maeve Shelton.
And today we are here with Cara Gould, one of the drum majors for the Benet Academy Marching Redwings.
Hi, Cara.
Hi, it's great to be here.
We are so excited to have you here.
So, a lot of people see you as the drum major, kind of, conducting everyone. But what are, the duties of a drum major? What does it mean in the band? It's definitely kind of a status thing.
Generally, drum majors are in charge of the entire band. It's our job to keep them in line and basically be the right-hand people for our band director, Mr. A. So that basically includes conducting the show, helping people out whenever they have questions, and basically doing anything and everything.
Wonderful.
That's so cool. It sounds like a lot of work, though.
Yeah, it really is.
Does it keep you busy?
Yeah, before practices, we usually have to arrive up to an hour early.
Oh, wow.
Lots of work outside of just basic rehearsals, but it's worth it.
So if there's a favorite part of being a drum major for you, what is that kind of, yes,
Honestly,
moment?
The best part is just during the show and right when it ends, just the feeling of the band came together and just nailed a show, and that we were able to create something that the people at the football game or at a competition can watch and enjoy.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's so cool, yeah.
All right, so to put together just such a crazy show like this, you guys do go to a band camp. So what are the steps it takes? What are the things you do that bring your band together from not having a show at all to walking around in configurations on the field, playing music, just doing all this crazy stuff and adding flags, but what takes it from step one to a show?
Yeah, so as Maeve said, we have a week over the summer, plus or minus a few days, and we basically do three main things during that week. We work on music, just learning to play the music, learning the rhythms, learning to memorize the music. The music we have in front of us is one of the most difficult pieces that we've performed in marching band for a long time. On top of music, we do just basic marching, how to do the right step, how to make it all uniform, because you might look at it and think, oh, they're just walking in patterns. But we have to make all of our feet match up at the exact same time, all be on the same foot and all hold the same form while not bouncing around so we can play our instruments. So we spend a lot of time just walking around the parking lot, getting all those basics together. And the third thing we do is learn the patterns on the field, which takes the most time and is the most difficult to do. But at the end, we're able to put it all together And with a few, honestly, kind of terrible runs after just those few, it starts coming together and it turns into the show that you'll see at all the football games.
You guys do not get enough credit like that you should.
Yeah, you see the show and it's like, okay, so the band kids are walking around, but just to think that everyone has to be moving in this synchronized way while worrying about what notes you're playing, that's just so incredible, and you're using so many parts of your brain for that, so kudos.
Yeah, it takes a lot more than people would realize just watching.
Mm-hmm.
You guys ready for the home game this Friday?
Of course, we always are. I think everybody in band is super excited to show what we've been working on for these past few weeks.
We're excited to see it.
Yeah. So what, you guys have a lot of chants or cheers that you do from the sidelines besides the halftime show. What is your favorite kind of cheer or, rah, rah, rah type thing?
We do one piece in the track tunes called Hey Baby, and it's been one that the band has done for a long time. And not only is it fun and upbeat, but it has lyrics. So you'll see people when they're not playing just singing them out loud, and the crowds who are listening, paying attention and know the song will join and they'll sing with us. And it's a great way to get everyone engaged, and that's one reason I love it.
You guys are like the cheerleaders, but in the bleachers. I think that's so cool.
Yeah.
So you played the flute. What's one of the things that you miss about just playing flute, being in the band when you were, freshman, sophomore, marching with the flute?
I think the one thing I miss about marching in the band is probably we have sectionals during rehearsal where each group of instruments get together and work, but usually, don't tell Mr. A, people goof off a lot. So it was just a great time to hang out with friends and eat food, even though we weren't supposed to, and just generally bond doing what we all loved.
That's fun.
That's great.
It's kind of the same thing with choir sectionals. You want to get down and work, but you're also really enjoying being together and bonding with your section. So
Right. You find the balance between getting stuff done and getting absolutely nothing done.
right?
Yeah. I don't know how that is.
So the theme this year is anxiety. I know that I experience anxiety at Benet,
Central theme of Benet
quite
Academy.
often.
Yeah.
What makes this piece that you're going to do anxiety? What parts of it are like, oh my gosh, now I feel like really anxious playing this?
Well, as I said, it's not only one of the most difficult pieces that we've done, it's one of the most difficult drills that we've done. So everyone's just nervous before putting it on always, because we never really know if we're going to nail it. But it does end up really cool. And the way it's arranged, all the music is extremely, extremely intense. And it's very untraditional, as there's no real melody to track and follow, but it really kind of makes you feel like the emotion in the music, and it is very apt for Benet, as everyone at Benet has felt this anxiety at some point or another.
Awesome.
I
Okay.
really like that.
I'm really excited to see it.
Me too.
Great. Well, thank you, Cara, so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
No problem.
No problem. We're excited to watch the Benet Academy Marching Red Wings this Friday at the football game. This has been Megan Sluzis,
And Maeve Shelton.
and we're going to send it over to Jacob and Pat discussing football.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Benet Academy Broadcasting Club Sports Podcast. I'm Jacob Infante alongside Pat Malik. Today we've got a special guest for you guys from the football team. We've got running back Ben Hickey. Ben, how are we doing on this fine morning?
Yeah, we're doing pretty good. 7:30 a.m. on a Monday. We're doing good. Football team's looking all right. 3-1 right now. Doing good.
Can't beat it. Pat, you want to get things started off? We got a few questions for you if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure.
All right, Ben. I'm going to get right to it. Benet football is usually known for its tough and its gritty defense, but it seems as if this year the offense is just as strong. What would you attribute to that?
Well, I think the reason our offense is doing so well is it starts with our O-line for sure. I mean, last year we didn't have a lot of starters from the junior class then, but we had a lot of experience. Like we had Matt King get in.
Nice.
We have Shane O'Mara as a 3-year starting varsity player. And we got a good returning quarterback who got some experience last year in a deep playoff run, which helps us a lot. And then we got a pretty good receiving core. They worked real hard as juniors. I know they're going to make some big plays for us going forward.
Nice.
You guys started off the year 3-0, obviously a real hot start to the year. But you guys are coming off a rough loss to Notre Dame at the first home game of the year. What's the feeling like in the locker room after having lost, after going undefeated to start the year?
I mean, we're disappointed for sure. I mean, we're not sitting in a terrible position 3-1 right now, but we definitely know we could be 4-0. I think what we know for sure is that we have a potential to be a really good team, and we're just a few plays away from just taking that next step forward, and it's just a matter of execution for us. So if we start to execute, we know the sky's the limit for us.
Absolutely. What would you consider the best part of your team this year?
I mean, overall, we've got just a lot of skill returning everywhere from last year. We got all-conference defensive players like Jack Benish, Billy Lawler, Jack Cooney, which helps us out a lot. And then we've got just a hard-working attitude on our team, which is a good trait to have for us.
So you've got Colin Gillespie at quarterback, and obviously he's returning for his second year as the starter after taking over for Matt Boyle last year, and you're returning in your second year as the starter also. What's the difference between this year, where you have chemistry with the quarterback and you know what you're expecting, versus your junior year, where you don't necessarily have a lot of game time experience with that quarterback?
It helps a lot for sure. I mean, last year when I was with Matt Boyle, I mean, I did know him pretty well. We played grade school football together all throughout. We went to St. Michael's together. So it wasn't too bad of a transition, but being with Colin helps a whole lot because, I mean, this is our third year together. He came in as a freshman and sophomores. We played 9 games as sophomores. We played, I think, 7 games sophomore year. I mean, we're going to play something like 20-plus games together. So we're really comfortable with each other, which helps a lot.
Yeah, and your offensive line, like you said, they're the guys blocking for you. Guys like Matt Kickle, John Gore, and Shane O'Mara is absolutely massive this year. As a halfback, what is your relationship like with the guys in the trenches blocking for you?
Oh, I love my O-line for sure. We call them the Hogs because they work up, they work big time up front. They've been working real hard, and we were averaging something like 300 yards a game at the beginning of the year. And there's some characters up there, and I like them a lot for sure. And I know they got our back going forward.
Speaking of characters, who'd you say is the most lively presence in your guys' locker room?
Well, that's got to be right tackle Matt Kickle. I mean, he gets he gets pumped up for anything really, and yeah, he's a fun presence in the locker room.
Yeah, and is there any beef between the offense and the defense? I know you go against guys like Jackson Stevens, Billy Lawler, and Mike Weimer every day in practice. So what's your relationship like with them?
I'd say between the offense and defense, we get the offense and defensive line. They can go at sometimes during practice, especially throughout the summer when you go up against each other every day. And after a while, the D line kind of just starts to know our plays. So I mean, it gets tough there sometimes. But I mean, I've got to respect them all in all because they're a great group of people. We got some of them that play both ways. Mike Weimer, Jack Cooney.
Absolutely.
Mike comes in, rain back, who does a great job. Jack's a great receiver too. So, I mean, overall, we're still buddies at the end of the day. But, I mean, it'll get heated a little bit during practice, but that's just what comes.
It's the nature of the sport, man.
Yes, sir.
Taking a look at this coming week, you guys are going to be facing Nazareth, who have recently developed into a powerhouse in the SEC. What would you say is the key to stopping a team that's got such good talent on both sides of the ball?
I mean, we've got to be disciplined against them. They're the number 2 team in the state right now. They've got an incredible secondary. They've got a Division I caliber quarterback who's a sophomore, but I think we've got enough talent where we can limit them, I think, and just hold them. Just as long as we can limit them from big plays, from huge plays, and just let our defense do our thing. And if we can just execute and just finish plays like we should, then I think we can have a good chance of winning.
All right, that's all we got for you today. Thanks for joining us, Ben.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And that will do it for the first edition of the Benet Academy Sports Podcast of the year. We'd like to thank you for joining us today. I'm Jacob Infante.
And I'm Pat Malik.
All right, thanks, Jacob and Pat. We wish the football team the best of luck this Friday against Nazareth. That'll be all for us here at the Redwing Roundup podcast. We remind you to follow us on social media at Benet Broadcast 1. On Instagram and Twitter, that is at Benet Broadcast 1. We'd like to thank Mr. Lawler, Miss Lauren, and the librarians for helping us to find places to work this week. This has been the Redwing Roundup podcast. I'm Jack McGrath alongside my partner, Ethan Ferguson. And as always, go Red Wings.